Hi, my name is Cameron Campbell, aka MC Eucalypts. I'm the executive director and founder of the Vocal Mimicry Foundation, an organization dedicated to using beatboxing and vocal mimicry as tools for individual and social transformation. Anyways, what that means is, so beatboxing and vocal mimicry are both practices that have emerged based on the human replication of sounds from the world. Beatboxing emerged in the United States in the 70s, and vocal mimicry is sort of just the entire evolution of human beings trying to reproduce sounds from their environment. So what this organization looks at is really trying to understand the application and engagement of beatboxing and practices of vocal mimicry throughout the world in transforming and healing individuals and societies. And so this brings me to my story. I had Lyme disease for a long time, which is sort of a debilitating disease which causes fatigue, arthritis, as well as neurological problems. And I began to use beatboxing and vocal mimicry sounds like as a way of healing. And I found that after I made sounds like that and beatboxed, I physically felt better. And I came to the conclusion that there definitely is some incredible power and value in the power of sound and sonic energy to really heal people individually and biologically. And perhaps that these sounds were actually exploding the bacteria in my body and creating health through positive vibrations. So I had an epiphany during my sickness and during my use of beatboxing and vocal mimicry as a tool for sort of healing, that these arts, that these cultural practices were not only healing physically, but were actually rooted historically and culturally in struggles to transform the individual and society. So, for example, beatboxing in the United States began as part of the early hip-hop movement in order to sort of transform, as a tool to transform the lives of people, lower-income people in disenfranchised neighborhoods who didn't have access to stereos or didn't have access to, weren't given a voice. So beatboxing became part of that movement, like Dougie Fresh style. So he was the kind of pioneer of that. And what I realized is beatboxing isn't the only tradition that is rooted sort of in this culture of individual and social healing and transformation. In fact, a variety of other practices throughout the world and art forms throughout the world are sort of very much embedded in that situation as well. For example, Inuit throat singing. The purpose of this project, Beatbox Without Borders, think outside the beatbox, is really to create and facilitate the space for beatboxers and practitioners of vocal mimicry to engage in cross-cultural learning, and in order to facilitate the environment where they can in fact talk about how these practices are rooted in individual and social healing and transformation. So the project has three main elements. The first one will be sound jams, in which in all the places that I travel I will create sound jams, and I will bring different practitioners together to jam with each other and to do small workshops and to learn from each other's traditions, as well as to share stories. And these sound jams will create the musical synergy and the resonance, the vibrations. And we will do a concert, a collaborative concert, and then we will record a song for an album. So that's the sort of sound jam. The second is the Beyond Words workshop. So the Beyond Words workshop is a workshop that brings practitioners together, as well as enthusiasts, anthropologists, spiritual leaders, scientists, brings them all together to facilitate dialogues about how beatboxing and vocal mimicry were, and can be used as tools for individual and social healing and transformation. And then what we'll do is we'll try to facilitate discussions so that new projects and new ways and applications of engagement are born. And we'll capture the specific stories of the individual practitioners, and we'll put them on YouTube as a mini-series, and then we'll talk about later on the results of some of these ideas that come out of it, and potentially how to implement those in real life. The third element is to sort of, in the end of the day, at the end of the trip, create a kind of online forum. I call it a platform / database of different practitioners and beatboxers who are using beatboxing and vocal mimicry as tools for individual and social healing transformation, to sort of highlight these people, and then to provide a forum with them to continue conversations and to facilitate and engage more actively in these different projects. So that's all I have to say. I'm requesting funding for travel, and I've picked out several countries to go to in the next year. I have chosen these countries because they have both modern beatboxers and have a variety of their own historical traditions of vocal mimicry. And so I thought they would be good places to go, as well as these countries are countries where I have personal and professional linkages to make the project go more easily. So I've chosen Alaska and Canada. I have chosen India and Nepal. I have chosen Tuva and Mongolia, Indonesia, Australia, and Kenya. Yeah. So support me in this.